severe tropical cyclone Trevor is set to cross the Northern Territory coast this morning, following mass evacuations across the top end. Our reporter Christy O'Brien is in Borroloola and joins us now. Christy, thanks for braving the elements for us. What's the latest there?
Yeah, Cyclone Trevor is sitting about 200 kilometres from us. It is still that Category 4 intensity that they predicted the entire way along the last few days. It is going to pack a punch, 280 kilometres an hour. We're expecting those wind gusts to be. And of course, the flooding is also a very big risk. That flooding looks like it will extend as far inland as Barclay. So there is now severe flood warnings extending pretty much all the way towards Tennant Creek, which is significant. We are, of course, in Borroloola. This town has been deserted. It was evacuated entirely the last few days. We saw numerous Hercules leaving packed with people, 200 people at a time. All 700 residents were forced out because of the danger that is posed to this community. We're still a few hours off, of course, the actual eye coming towards us. We expect that we, like everyone else that is left in this region, will be forced to bunker down. We'll be staying 100 kilometres inland at a much safer spot, hopefully at the Karratha River mine. Of course, it's been a huge operation effort out here. The plans are in place for this emergency, and we hope we are ready for it as it comes down on us.
As you mentioned, Christy, there have been evacuations over the last couple of days. Are those evacuations still happening, or are people now just being told to stay indoors and bunker down?
It's far too late for anyone really to try and evacuate, certainly not by aircraft, which has been the mode of transport that they have gotten residents out of here the last few days. The Defence Force was obviously critical to that, in particular the Air Force. It is now probably getting too late to leave. The backup plan, I suppose, if it does maintain that Category 4 strength as it heads towards where we will be staying, is to get out via road, but that decision will have to be made very quickly in the next few hours, because the time is really running out, particularly with those heavy falls predicted and the tidal surge on top of it. So bunker down is possibly the best option for anyone who may be left in this region. We understand that there aren't many people. Most places have left. They've taken that decision very wisely. There is no complacency out here. People have never seen a system this big. It spans hundreds of kilometres and it is expected to be extremely dangerous.
As you mentioned, storm surges, flooding, wind speeds, very strong winds expected. How bad could it get there?
Yeah, look, we at this stage, and the map does change frequently. This is a very hard part of the world to predict exactly where cyclones will go. Initially, it was heading right for us. It now looks like it is heading slightly to the east of us, which is good news, obviously, and the good news too for Borroloola, because it will not make a direct hit at this stage in that Category 4 strength from what we can see on the town, which hopefully means some of the homes will stand up a little bit better. But you know, as you can see, the winds are starting to pick up now, and it's very early days, so that's only going to get much more dangerous. The homes are not built particularly strong here, as I say. They haven't really seen a weather event like this. You can see a lot of fibro houses. There is still a lot of material just sitting around, and that's really going to become weapons later on as the winds pick up and those objects start to fly through the air. So this will be far too dangerous. This place, no one could stay in to weather this cyclone. But of course, at the mine, we also understand they're locking everything down as we speak. We had an emergency meeting last night where they went over what will go on today. We've been told that we will be ordered into a bunker with the miners. There's about 60 people left. We'll all be in the one room as we weather the worst of it, and I imagine it is going to be pretty hairy. You know, we were in Cyclone Marcus last year. That was a low Category 2. This is a Category 4 system. It's a very different story.
All right, Christy O'Brien, stay safe, and thanks for keeping across it for us.
I hope they do stay safe. It's terrible stuff that these, and we can get used to it as climate change becomes more and more intense. Obviously, these storms become more frequent and they become larger when they do hit. Speaking of more frequent, meanwhile, in Western Australia, the Pilbara region is also bracing for Cyclone Veronica, another cyclone to make landfall. That system's expected to cross the coast somewhere between Port Hedland and Karratha, either this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Catherine Diss has more on that one.
I'm at the State Emergency Services headquarters in Hedland, where local volunteers have been madly preparing to be able to rapidly deploy if residents need them when Tropical Cyclone Veronica passes the coast. They've also been preparing the town and handing out sandbags to local residents. Tonight is the critical time for residents across the Pilbara within the cyclone zone. It's expected to cross the coast later tonight and into early Sunday morning. Authorities are concerned about this system for a number of reasons. Firstly, because it's slow moving, which means it could take some time to pass, dumping a lot of rain with it and also bringing wind gusts of up to 165 kilometres an hour. It's also expected to bring storm surges. That's because it will cross the coast at high tide, which means we could see tides 4 metres higher than what they usually are at this time of year, which, to give you some idea of what that is, normally in March, Port Hedland records tides of around 7.5 metres. So 4 metres on top of that would mean we could see tides of 11 metres high. This system is also expected to bring a lot of rain. Authorities are predicting upwards of 500 millimetres of rain across the course of the weekend, which is the Pilbara region's entire rainfall for the year within just a couple of days. And for all these reasons, authorities are saying it could have a catastrophic impact on the town of Port Hedland. Police officers have already been door-knocking and trying to encourage residents in low-lying areas to evacuate, to take shelter in the evacuation centre in South Hedland or take shelter with family and friends. Incident Controller John Newman is urging residents not to be complacent.
What we've presented is the worst credible scenario. And if that does come to pass, the impact will be catastrophic in those areas.
The system has now moved onto a yellow alert, which means shops and services do shut down and residents will struggle to be able to get those last-minute items if they need them.